Now, you are in court with me today. We're filming this on Tuesday. We're in court covering the trial of Pastor Artur Pawlowski. And this is a 3-day trial, and there's no way in heck that they're going to be done in 3 days on the matter of a single public health ticket for illegal public gathering. And the illegal public gathering in question was a Christmas meal that he served to the homeless in downtown Calgary. He's on trial right now for serving them steak, which breaks my heart because I can't even imagine when was the last time those folks had a steak, and vegetables and potatoes and gingerbread. There was mention of gingerbread and hot chocolate. I can't even believe the things I'm hearing in court. I can't even believe that these things are crimes. And giving them Christmas presents, organizing Christmas presents for them. And we heard testimony all day this morning, all morning. It's been a real soul-sucking experience. It's sometimes pretty boring. But just the idea that a pastor in Calgary could be on trial, facing fines for feeding the homeless. And Art made a great point to us today, that he was feeding the homeless when the homeless had been denied services by the city of Calgary because they initially limited the amount of people who could be in the homeless shelter. Can you even believe what we're hearing today?
No, I can't. It's an official statement. No, I can't. Yeah. I've actually never been in court before. This is my first time, and it's really different from the movies. If you've never been in court before, like, it's not there aren't all these very hard questions being asked where you're constantly on the edge of your seat and you're waiting, if it's going to be testified against or if, there's going to be an objection. I literally sat there for the most part with you today, despite that we had some good tweets and we were definitely keeping the viewers updated. But most of them towards the end were about if the Christmas trees there were real, if the people wearing what we could assume to be Santa hats were in fact Santa hats.
They said they were not specifically traditional Santa hats, but they were Christmas specific.
Christmas
Great.
specific.
Riveting.
Thank you so much for that. Yeah, I needed that, I just feel bad. I feel like it's we're focusing on the peas and the carrots when we need to be, no pun intended, focused on the steak, like the hand. The very important thing at matter here is definitely Artur Pawlowski and the fact that, just like you said earlier, like they were denied resources. And I sent out a tweet, and the Crown was actually insinuating by asking the peace officer there that's testifying against Pastor Artur, if there are other resources that exist in Calgary for the homeless population. And, she said yes, because of course there always have been in the city. But to what extent? So does that mean that when someone puts forth the effort to really, show them courtesy a little bit more and give them a warm meal and
show them love and kindness and dignity? That was one of the, sorry to interrupt you, but that was one of the things that I guess the Crown found appalling was that Art and his congregation were hugging the homeless and shaking their hands and showing them kindness and human dignity and destigmatizing them. And, we hear that word all the time from the left that there shouldn't be stigma. Well, when Art does that in practice, he ends up in court.
He ends up being arrested for it, and tried for doing that. And I don't agree with it. Personally, it's not something that sits well with me. I'm not sure who, could actually be very honest and deconstruct the entire event that we're going over today in court, which is just a gathering of people that are literally there to facilitate that warm, loving environment for people that probably haven't been shown a lot of that in their lives, but not in recent times as well because of the pandemic, right? There's a lot of fear-mongering around being close to the people around you, let alone your family. Like, how do you think that they feel being that they're already on the streets and homeless? So seeing that video, it warmed my heart. But obviously with the Crown, they were more focused on the gingerbread and the color of the speakers being used.
That was another thing that they're using as evidence against Art because at the time, people were only allowed to gather together if they were from the same household. And so the peace officer said, these people, they're obviously not from the same household. Yeah, they don't have houses. It's sort of implied when you call someone homeless that they don't have a house to go to. And this was the only place where they could get a hot meal that day and be shown love and not treated like the unmentionables on the street that day.
No, absolutely. And that was another tweet that we focused on being very keen about sending out, is just that like, how do you even have that conversation with somebody? Like, it can be so simply broken down between us and in this conversation. And I'm sure everyone on the other side of this camera is pretty much nodding their heads at this point, but it's really hard to get around like the simplicity of actions that are just literally from kindness and love. Like, it doesn't have to be complicated. I think that's where ego comes into play, and most of the time politics as well, because something like this that is so simple and just literally from the bottom of their heart, from the organizations that they're a part of, it's I don't understand it. This is, court's a little bit challenging, but it's good.
Oh, hey, what you just saw there is a clip from my weekly full-length show, The Gunn Show. It airs on Wednesday, but this is the internet. You can watch it whenever you feel like. You just have to become a subscriber to our paywalled premium content. Just go to rebelnewsplus.com to become a member today.